What's going on, everybody? JR from JrZ CarZ, and today we're going to do another ownership review. So sit back, relax, and I'm going to show you this 2008 Honda Odyssey EXL. I'll show you the good, I'll show you the bad. We'll do a complete walk around. So if you're in the market for a van like this and you're considering one of these, you'll be informed and you'll be able to make your decision. So like I said in the intro, this here is a 2008 Honda Odyssey EXL. The exterior color is what they call mocha metallic. It's a really nice looking color. Right now it's a little overcast, so we really can't see how bright the color actually is. But when that sun's shining, it does pop. It's got a nice shine to it. It's metallic, you know, so you'll see different hues inside the color too. But the Odyssey itself comes in 3 different trim models. You have the EX, you have the EXL, and then you have the Touring. The Touring package is a high trim level. Obviously, it comes with more bells and whistles, bigger rims, navigation system, things like that. This one is just below that model, but it still has a lot of features in it, which are really nice. The Odyssey is one of the few vans right now that are actually available in an 8-passenger configuration. Most of the minivans are 7 passengers. These are now 8s, and it goes all the way up to the newest models too. So this one, I personally like it. It's fun to drive. It's a nice little car. It's got enough pep to it. They say that the horsepower rating is anywhere between 241 to 244 horsepower, and roughly about 240 foot-pounds of torque. And it's all mated up to a 5-speed automatic. So if we look around, I'll take you a quick walk around of the car here. It's pretty much, you know, minivan of the era. It's really nothing any different than any other models that they have. The only thing, like I said, is having that extra seat in the middle, which makes it an 8-passenger van. They kind of got a little boxy getting towards like the 2008 plus. So now, instead of models kind of like the Caravan, where they were kind of bubbly before, the Honda Odyssey kind of kept its little boxy shape. The nose changed up a little bit, which makes it look a little bit neater. I personally like this generation over the earlier generations, and even the later generations too. I think the later ones are just a little odd looking. My sister actually has a 2014, and I put this one next to hers, and this one actually stands a little bit taller. Looks like it may even have a little bit more room in it too. But I like this model. I've seen these before where, you know, some people have modified them. They've put them on airbags, dropped them down in the weeds, and they put big rims on them, and they just look pretty sick when they're when you do these up, you know, for a minivan. I mean, it's a people hauler. That's all it really is. So when you come around to the back side of the van, it looks very similar to the previous generation. What I kind of like here is having that splitter up at the top there. It just adds a little extra shade into the back when you have the sun blaring down on you. This one has 16-inch rims. Like I said, it's pretty basic minivan. I mean, they're nice. It's very, very comfortable. It's easy to drive. It is long though. It doesn't seem as long as it really is on the outside until you actually get in it and start driving it around. It's a little bit bigger than you think that it really would be. One thing that I absolutely love having, and it's only on these minivans, is having power doors. A thing of beauty. Okay, so before we get to the real interior and the engine and things like that, I want to start by showing just the immense amount of storage that this van has. It's really just absolutely crazy. Everywhere you turn, there's some form of storage in this van, and even with, like I said, my sister has a 2014. Even with her car, she doesn't have the amount of storage that this van does. So open up in the back here. let's get in here. Just take a look at how much space is in the bottom here. I could literally sit and lay in the back here and not have any problems. But technically, I mean, this is where you would fold the back seats. When you take these and fold them in, they'll fold down into the base here and make a lay flat floor. So it is nice, and it is definitely spacious back here. And one of the reasons for all the space that it has is that the spare tire is actually behind this cover here. So this actually moved, the spare tire actually moved to the center of the car in the newer generations, right? So back here, you would pull this, and then your spare tire would be back here. What you also have, you have a power outlet here, right? So you move that, you have your power outlet. You can run anything in the back. And then here's how you would fold your rear seat. Come over, you'd pull your handle. It actually has some Velcro here, so it stays on the seat. It doesn't fly around. You'd pull your handle, that goes forward. You grab here, and then what I usually do is I'll use that to pull it backwards. Just watch your seat melt. And there you go. Lay flat floor. You could do the same with the other one, and it gives you an incredible amount of cargo space in the back. The way to get into the back, the third row, is this lever right here. You can push this up, and it slides the whole seat forward like that. And now that we're in the back seat, you can see how much room there really is. I'm 6'4". I'm a big guy, right? So I have enough headroom over here. This, you know, it would be enough to be fairly comfortable. But looking at, you know, leg space, I'm sitting in the back of the seat, and my legs are touching the front of the seat here, but these are also reclined back a little bit too. I would pretty much feel comfortable back here being a passenger in the third row, even being as big as I am. You have your seat belt that comes down from the ceiling over here for the center passenger. So you would just take this out, you would move that out, you would pull this down, and it would go, it would go into this one first. So this latch here would plug into here, and then your lap belt would plug in over here. And you have 2 ducts for each one of the seats in the back here. You have your light, and then you have, whether you want it to be full blast or you want it to be off, these vents do spin, they turn, they adjust, so you could put it exactly where you want it to be. So I did say that there is a ton of cargo space in this van, and boy is there. So here you have some cargo, a little bit, nothing big. But one thing that it also does have is a tremendous amount of cup holders all over the place. There's a cup holder in this van all over the place for every single passenger, for every single type that you would want. There's 2 over here. This is on the passenger side in the third row seat. And then if we come over to this side over here, we have 1 over here for the driver's side third row seat. There's some more storage here, very little bit if you need it. But what you do have back here too is you have your audio jacks if you have manual headsets, video jacks for the DVD system, and volume controls here. One really neat feature, and this should be on every single car, is having an AC adapter in the car itself. Not just the standard car plugs, but this is an actual plug that you can plug anything into. So if you have a phone that needs to be charged and all you have is just a regular charger, you can still do that back here. All right, so on to the second row of seats. Now, these could function as full captain's chairs, like I said, because you could take that center one out. So they both have armrests on both sides. So when you take that center seat out, you can have these as captain's chairs. Another neat feature of the center seat is that even if you don't want to take it out, you can take this pad off and you can fold the top down. And when you fold the center section down, you have 2 more cup holders. Well, look at that. We have more storage. And speaking of storage, I forgot about this storage right down here. So if you look in here, you can lift this up and you have a whole bunch of storage underneath here. Now this actually works well because if you want to take this, this seat pad off and take that seat top and move it down, that seat pad right there will fit in that storage compartment right there without any issues. So you're not left with trying to find a place to put that thing. And now I'm sitting in the second row of seats where there's a little bit more room than in the third row. You can see here, my legs here, this is the passenger seat up in the front. Obviously it could be, you know, adjusted forward and backwards, give you a little bit more room. But one of the nice things about the second row seats in this van too, is that they're fully adjustable. So you can take the top, you can lean it back, you can put it straight up if you want. The seat bottoms will go forward and backwards. There's a little handle here. You can pull the seat forward, you can pull the seat backwards, right? So they're fully adjustable. And even the middle seat is adjustable going forward, the seat back is adjustable. The seat bottom is anchored in one spot, so you can't move that. And just like in the third row, you have your vents. Same thing. You can adjust the flow, you can spin it, you can adjust it this way to get the airflow right where you want it to be. Now on the sliding door, this is what you have. You have your handle, you have your lock, and you have your window button right there that will take the window and move it down. The window actually goes down in this door. A lot of the older models don't have that option to be able to open that back window. So you're stuck with either having one of those in the back being vent windows and only having the front windows like that, or just living with it. One other really neat feature that this has is a screen built into the door. My kids love this because if we're driving down the road and the sun's shining on this side of the car, well, you can take this and just latch it in up here. And there you go. Now you have your shade and it's a little bit more comfortable for your passengers. And guess what else it has? Another cup holder and a little bit more storage. And on the driver's side roof right over here, this is your climate control, that if you don't lock it in the front, your rear passengers would be able to adjust their own climate from up in the top here. It's the DVD. So this here, you hit your open button, there's your screen, and it can be adjusted a couple different ways, right? So you can have the screen, however, it's gonna make it a little bit easier for the passengers in the back to see. And this right here is your control for it. So you would push this button, it would release, and you would come down, and you can take this and run the controls from the radio and the DVD player direct from this remote in the back. It's extremely clever, and it's really nice because then that way the driver doesn't have to be distracted looking and searching and playing around with the audio equipment just to get a DVD working for the people in the back seat. Another extremely nice thing to have is a set of these wireless headsets. So I actually have 4 of these in the car, and these connect internally to the radio, so that way your passengers could be listening to whatever it is that they're watching and not disrupting you in the front listening to a DVD. So now we're on the front of the car. So you have your driver's seat, which is full power. And this is really nice to have the back of the seat being full power too, because then you can infinitely make this seat as comfortable as you possibly can. You're not limited to just the amount of clicks that you can pull a seat up or not. You can make it comfortable for yourself, right? So looking at the door, It's got a little wear on the door itself. Those are leather tops. They wear, it's just how things are. But there's storage in the door. Storage in the door. Another spot for a cup holder that you can put a big bottle in here. This is huge. You have your, obviously your window controls. Your driver is auto up and down. The locks, this way is unlock, this way is lock. I get it wrong all the time. You can lock out the windows in the back. You have your mirrors, your controls for the mirrors, and they're also heated here. And this center tray that's in between the two front seats is really neat, and it's a great option because, number one, cup holder, cup holder, cup holder, cup holders. We got more. But this also gives you some storage. But what's really neat is if you go to a fast food restaurant and you need a van for a reason, you probably have a bunch of kids. So you're getting a couple cups, you know, drinks, things like that. The cup holders that they give you, the 4 cup holders that they give you, those, whatever the cardboard ones, fits perfectly right in the center here. So if you get one of those, you could put it right here and it's not going to go anywhere. One really neat option of this is that it actually collapses and folds out of your way. There's a little handle right here up in the center. You pull on that, folds out of the way, and now you have all storage right here. Sticking on the storage theme here, I'm going to show you some of the storage that you have in your dashboard. So you have this center section here. That is storage. Nice and big. I could fit my hand in there. Right underneath it, guess what this is? Cup holders. Nice big cup holders that are slightly adjustable for both passenger and driver. So you have cup holders here. You have these 2 cup holders. You have these 2 cup holders. And you have the cup holder that's in the door and the storage there. And storage here in the dashboard. That's nice and big. And the storage in your glove box. Okay, so down below the storage and the cup holders, you have your DVD player, right? So this is your DVD player. You're going to put your DVDs in there. This car does have heated seats in the front, so you could switch it up for high, in the center is off, and then low is down below. You have a power outlet up in the front here, and then you also have an auxiliary port for the radio, so you can plug in your phone if you want to plug in a phone or something along those lines. And more storage. And up on the ceiling here, what you have is you have your lights. You can turn them on by pushing them. You have controls for different garage door openers that can be programmed. There's a neat little light that's up here at night that if you put your hand down, you could see that it glows orange, and it basically will glow this whole area down here, which gives you a little bit of access to be able to see some of the stuff that's down here. Now going back up here, what do you think we have in here? Storage for your sunglasses. On top of that, if you push it up like that, you can see everything that's going on in the back over here. You have your rear view mirror that is auto dim. So right there in the corner of your mirror is where your backup camera is. Now that's really neat on this model because, you know, you can at least have something to look at to help you kind of back things up if you're one of those people that can't use mirrors to back up. Okay, so at this point, I think I've shown you where all the storage is on this car. So now we can actually get to different things. So you have your steering wheel, it's leather wrapped. You have your volume controls. This is the channels for presets that are in the radio. Your mode allows you to switch through to different options in the radio. Your cruise controls all on the right side here. Your shifter is up here. Your radio is right here. This one does have Sirius XM radio. This is where you're going to do, if you're running it from the front, this is where you would run your DVD player. You know, you have your different audio options in here. One really neat thing that this radio has is this rear power. So what I can do is, if I'm listening to the radio, I can hit this button and it's going to turn off all the speakers in the back of the car. So if I want to listen to the radio, it's at night, kids are asleep in the back, I don't want them listening, you know, or getting woken up, I can turn that off, turn those speakers off, and that way they don't have to listen to what I'm listening to as loud. One really neat feature, obviously, is this right here, this button. This shuts off all the lights in the car. If I don't want them on, I'll put them on door, or I'll turn them on completely. Every car should have a switch like this that's immediately accessible right from the front, because most cars, what they do is they'll have a button that's on the light on the ceiling that you'll have to go into the car and switch one way, switch the other way, and it's a pain in the ass. Having it up here is so much easier. And to the left side of the steering wheel, you have, again, accessibility, makes it nice and easy. You have your sunroof controls, this center button. If you push this, it lifts the sunroof up. This button opens it, this button closes it. It's not automatic, so you actually have to hold that. And that's one of the things that I really don't like, is that it's not automatic. It really should be. These are the door controls. So open the door, close the door, and you can turn this on and off. So that way your doors in the back won't open automatically. There's an option here for your vehicle stability control. You can turn that off as well. All right, so here's the key. We'll give it a start. I think it's really nice the way that everything just kind of comes to life when you bring the key up. And I like the way that the dashboard is laid out. And I like this little line that's in the center here of the speedometer. Honda was a little optimistic putting 160 miles an hour on their speedometer. One thing that I'm not really a fan of, I mean, this car's a 2008. You would think that it would have a little bit more options to be able to tell you what's going on with the car. Really, the only way to do it is to just scroll through the settings here on this little knob. If you turn it left and right, it turns the you can see the lights go off down at the bottom. The brightness of the dashboard is what that does, right? So if you push on this, it gives you the different options that you have: temperature gauge, your trip odometers, what your oil life is, and that's pretty much it. You don't get anything else. And in the center here is where you have your controls for the heating and ventilation. So you turn your air conditioning on because it's extremely hot, and you can sync everything. There's controls for the driver and the passenger side. This is your rear control. This is the rear control for the climate control to be turned on or off. We can turn that off. Your rear defroster, this is your front defroster. You could have it on auto mode, which will, you could set the temperature settings in here by pushing the buttons up and down, and it'll automatically keep the temperature inside the car, and you can turn it off from here. Over here, obviously, is your fan speed. That's pretty much all there is there. So another thing that I'm really not a fan of is the location of where they put the popper for the gas door. It's all the way down here. Like this is where your feet are. It's all the way down here in the floor. And if I want to fill my gas tank up, I have to reach all the way down, grab this and pop it open, and it pulls the door open. In addition to that, look at how low your hood popper is too. Way down here. So you really have to feel for it. So you can pull that and lift the latch to get that hood open. All right, so here we are underneath the hood, and here's the power plant. So it's Honda's tried and true 3.5 liter VTEC. This one specifically has the variable cam timing. So So that way what it will do is when you're driving along, you'll see a little light on your dashboard that says Eco. And what that does is that actually kicks out a couple cylinders, so it gets you a little bit better gas mileage. Now, one of the things that does go wrong on these is on the back side of the engine, there's a mount. That one is prone to going bad. And one of the complaints that everybody has is that when it goes into eco mode, you'll feel like a judder or a shake or something like that. You'll feel it switching in and out of eco mode. 9 times out of 10, that engine mount is bad, and that's the reason why they keep feeling it, because you're feeling the engine twist basically every time it does that. Now, it's interesting because I can feel the car going into eco mode and out of eco mode. It's not really bad. It's really not bad at all. But it's really interesting because when you feel it go into eco mode, you can actually feel that the car, it almost feels like the car is going into overdrive, and then it shifts, like if it's shifting down into overdrive. But when you're driving the car, you can actually see that none of the RPMs shift. It kind of feels a little odd. You get used to it after a while. So there you have it. There's my 2008 Honda Odyssey EXL. If this helped you out, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And I'll catch you all soon in the next video.